Hvor er vi?
Linjen, gå av her.
Hvor er vi, og hvor skal vi? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I was gone again for a while there, and that is because I have been traveling and touring Norway for the last 2 months. It actually came to a point in the end there where I almost forgot how it felt like to just be at home in my cottage in the countryside. And it feels really good to be back here now. But this journey started with these crazy 2 weeks in northern Norway that I'm attempting to share with you in this video. And I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out because this journey was intense. But I'm gonna try my best. This fall, Bendik and I were invited back to the northernmost counties of Norway, Troms and Finnmark, to tour with our plant workshop. I was so thrilled to be able to go back to this area that inspired me so deeply. But standing there on the ferry from Harstad on one of the first days of the trip, I was also feeling a little bit nervous. Because we were going from far south in the county, close to Harstad, up to Senja, Tromsø, Skjervøy, and then all the way up north to Hammerfest, before heading east towards Varanger and some of the areas we have traveled in before. We would be seeing some of the places that I've always dreamt about seeing in northern Norway, but also driving really long distances, while at the same time teaching full days in the schools. I definitely prepared myself for a roller coaster, but there was no turning back now anyways, and I felt really excited to dive into yet another adventure. Our first stop on this trip was one of Norway's biggest islands, Senja, and that is a place that Bendik and I have been dreaming about going to for almost the 7 years that we have been together. We were just a few days into our tour and everything just felt so unreal already. I think the best way of describing the feeling of being in Senja is that I felt like I was in the land of giants. It's almost like the nature there is telling you that this is not a place for you. You can visit and you can live in it, but you should walk carefully. This land is ruled by the mountains and the sea and the sky. Today is a much better day than yesterday. We have been on tour for a few days now, and we had some rough beginnings. Satser på dette er bunnen, nå kan det bare gå oppover. It was kind of messy, but then there was a beautiful journey to this area that we are in right now from Harstad. But I was so tired. I sleep really badly usually the first days on tour, so I was feeling super tired. But then today we had a good night's sleep and we had a really good day working in the school, and now we're here in the sun. And I don't know how to explain, but this place doesn't even look real. It really doesn't. I really wish that that day would never end, but in contrast to the last time we were in the north, there was no more midnight sun and the daylight was fading really quickly. So eventually we had to start turning our car back home to Finnsnes, where we were staying. And we stopped on the way to eat at this beautiful barn. And I really recommend eating there if you are in the Finnsnes area, because you have this beautiful view of Finnsnes from there, and the food was really nice. Wow. I can't believe I finally got to see Senja. That's definitely a bucket list thing for me. Tomorrow we have another school here in this place in Finnsnes, and then we go to Tromsø, which is also a bucket list thing for me because I've never been to Tromsø. And you know, they call it the Paris of the North, so I guess we'll see if it is. But yeah, I'm really tired now. And yeah, I think we need to get some sleep. Good night now, and I'll see you. We drove the next day through all of these deep valleys and gloomy landscapes. And when we saw the lights of Tromsø by the end of the day, it felt like a city in the middle of the wilderness. It was a very strange and cool feeling arriving there. Kind of a creepy parking lot. For det der ser ut som en enorm bombedør. I don't know what it was, if it was like the snowstorm that we were outside in yesterday, or just that I'm kind of tired and sleeping bad in all of these new hotel rooms. But I'm kind of like a little bit sick today. But tomorrow is Friday. So I'm hoping that maybe this weekend I will recover. Great. We have such a nice view though of the city and also the mountains. So we're lucky with that. It's Friday here in Tromsø. Now I finally have some time off. I'm still feeling kind of like stuffy and not that good, but we're gonna go explore a little bit because we haven't done that yet. And yeah, we're gonna go look for some good coffee. Det vanlige greier. I've always been really curious about this city in the north, and I actually liked it even more than I thought I would. I was really surprised at how many cozy streets and beautiful old houses were preserved there. Even these old kiosks, some of them were actually still running. And something else that I really liked about the city was that there were so many nice cafes here. I really love going to cafes. That is one of the main things that I miss so much in the countryside. Another thing is that they seem to have a lot of thrift shops and also this really cool and funny shop that had almost everything from pencils and paintbrushes to old books and grape seeds. Now we're probably gonna be here all day. I'm not gonna be able to get Bendik out of here.
And it's really nice with these spectacular mountains.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
So nearby.
Yeah, I agree.
They feel like.
They feel really close, yeah. Feels like we are in the middle of the wilderness in a very urban city. Which is kind of what is the truth, I guess.
New day, and we're headed to Skjervøy today. I'm really happy that this was the place that I was in when I was feeling a bit under the weather, because yeah, the view from here has been really great and this hotel is so nice. I've never been to Skjervøy. I'm gonna call it the island of the whales and the orcas, because I imagine we're gonna see some. Or at least I hope so, but probably not. But I think it's about a 4-hour drive, so we gotta get going. Let's go. The 4-hour drive to Skjervøy was a gloomy one, and even though I had spent all weekend resting in Tromsø, I still had not completely recovered from the cold. So I was feeling a little bit low that day, because I knew that a full week of teaching and traveling would be really tough with my health being this way. Even with gloomy weather and a cold though, northern Norway is so breathtaking. And during the drive I was starting slowly to feel excited again about traveling to a new place. There's also no such thing as sick leave in this job, so there was nothing else to do but to just try and get myself together and push through. Jeg er glad vi ikke kjørte der akkurat da. Ja. Men jeg bare føler liksom at hvis jeg ikke sover nå, så blir jeg ikke klar. Og det vil jeg være. Spesielt hvis vi skal gå tur. Da blir jeg uklar, ja. I luckily had a good night's sleep, and after work the next day I was starting to feel like myself again. There wasn't that much to see in the center of Skjervøy, other than maybe this amazing exhibit window for the foot therapy salon. But what is really amazing about Skjervøy is the nature around it. And we didn't really realize that before we started walking to the other side of the island. My eyes were constantly fixated on the sea because I knew that in these waters outside of Skjervøy, the orcas and the humpback whales actually come to feed on herring during this specific time of the year. We were unfortunately a little bit too early to be able to go on the whale safari, but I was hoping that I might catch a glimpse of them in the waters outside of Skjervøy. At the end of the road we reached Kirkenes, which is an old military fort. And even though we hadn't seen any whales, I was so grateful that we decided to go there.
It was a longer walk than we thought, but it was so worth it. Wow. Too. Det var ikke så sydlig, toppene. Det har veldig mye å si, altså. Hvis man ikke kan se toppene, så blir det mer som en slags vegg.
The next day we were going on the longest drive of the whole trip. A 6-hour journey from Skjervøy to Hammerfest, one of the northernmost places that we were going to on this trip. Hammerfest actually calls itself the northernmost town in the world. And it's technically not, but it's still up there among some of the northernmost places you can go to, which is kind of crazy.
We're picking some yarrow today on the way to Finnmark and Hammerfest because we don't know if it's going to be snow there. So we just wanted to make sure that we have enough. And we have 3 days left now, so we're trying to pick enough for all the 3 days, just so we know that we have everything we need. Yeah, and it's gorgeous today. So gorgeous. This is a beautiful day to be driving, and the sun has been standing like very low on the horizon almost all day. I think it's headed towards darker times of here in the north now. But the beautiful thing about it is that when the sun is really low all day, you have this beautiful golden light almost all day, and it's so beautiful. What? So beautiful. Wow. It looks unreal, honestly. And I hit 20k today on the channel. So it's a good day. The sun is shining. Oh, and there's a lot of snow. We have to get going. I am calling schools in the next county we're going to today, so we have like a car office situation going on here. And Bendik is doing the driving. We are currently driving through Alta. So now we are in Finnmark and we're headed for Hammerfest. It's still about 2 hours left, but that's feeling kind of like
short in a way because we have had such a long drive. For a while there, I felt a little sad of leaving all the tall mountains behind. But then we started driving through this beautiful highland landscape, and I immediately felt better. These wide plains is one of the things that I really love about Finnmark. This endlessness and openness that they have always fills me with this feeling of freedom. After we had crossed the plain, it felt like we were driving forever on these pitch-black roads. But eventually, almost out of nowhere, the lights of Hammerfest appeared in the dark.
About 7 hours. Now we're looking for some food.
Starting the day between the mountains of Skjervøy and then ending it this far north in Hammerfest was really surreal. Actually, this whole trip was starting to feel really surreal by this point. We were both feeling kind of tired after the long journey, but we only had this one evening in Hammerfest and we were determined to make the most of it.
Det isbjørnfjeset? Ja, ok, nå skjønner jeg.
Du må hoppe. Der, ja, noe sånt.
Jeg har aldri gjort det før.
En gang til. Skal jeg vise deg?
Du var ikke noe bedre enn meg i det hele tatt.
The polar bear is the coat of arms for Hammerfest, and although it's not native to mainland Norway, the polar bear symbolizes Hammerfest's history as a trading and Arctic hunting village back in the day. Many people that lived here traveled to Svalbard and the Arctic seas to hunt for whales and polar bears and seals. It is kind of crazy to think about.
We found a path that maybe leads up towards a viewpoint over the city. Not sure how much we will be able to see in the snow though. Over it up.
I'll never forget that surreal feeling I had looking out at this town that evening. There was no border between the sea and the sky. Everything blended together in the night. It was almost like it was floating in the middle of complete nothingness. I was trying to just take it all in. This whole experience, being this far north and everything we had seen. I knew that we would only have a very short time there. After teaching a class in the school in Hammerfest the day after, we headed straight for the airport and we traveled east by plane to Varanger and to a place that we were actually a little bit familiar with from before.
So hello friends, we are currently back in Vadsø, which is the place where we started our journey the last time we were in the north. And it feels kind of good to be back, almost like something familiar in something very unfamiliar. Because we have been in the unfamiliar for a long time this week, and now it feels kind of good to be somewhere that we have traveled before.
I got this strange feeling of relief from being back by the Varanger fjord again. And even though we didn't have that much time there, I was trying to soak in the open, wild landscape as much as I could. It has a special place in my heart after the last time we were here. After a night in Tana, we drove on the other side of the fjord from Vadsø towards Kirkenes, where we had one last school before heading home again. One last drive in the north through this rugged, barren cliff landscape. On the way to Kirkenes, we started to get really hungry and we decided to take a side road to a village that we saw on the map that had a restaurant. Väldigt bra. We had some fish soup in the local restaurant, and then we decided, since we were already there, that we wanted to use the last daylight hours to explore this town before heading to Kirkenes. We noticed there were a lot of Finnish and Norwegian flags all around. And after researching a little bit, we figured out that it was because there's actually a lot of Finnish-speaking people in Bugøynes. This village has been Finnish-Norwegian ever since the 1800s and is commonly referred to as Little Finland. This is one of those things that I really like about northern Norway. All of these different cultures that reside in this landscape, with different branches of the Sami culture, Kven culture, and also the Finnish culture being some of them. Bugøynes is also one of the very few towns in Finnmark that was not burned down by the Germans during the Second World War. So some of these houses date back all the way to the 1700s. It was starting to get dark and we needed to get going, but there was one final treasure that we needed to find, and that was in the graveyard. We read that there was a very rare flower growing only in this graveyard in the whole country. And if it's not obvious from us traveling around with a plant workshop, we are very interested in wild plants.
And we think we found the leaves. We cannot see the flower, but the leaves are here. And it's of course vernet or fredet, which means that you cannot pick it, but we just wanted to see it. Because it's written that it's only growing here. It's called polarflokk. It's getting dark. It's only 5, but it's almost completely dark now. And we're headed to our last stop on the journey, and that is Kirkenes. And that is a place both me and Bendik have been before. And yeah, we're kind of excited to be back there. It's been 10 years since we've been there. And we did not go together, but we were actually there at the same time. So I'll tell you a bit more about that when we get there. Absolute. So we had a major turn of events this evening, which is caused by this bathtub. So we finally have a bathtub in the hotel. This means that we're probably going to spend at least some time this evening here. We're people that really love bathtubs, and we don't have one at home. So and it's so cold outside too, so it's perfect for today. And yeah, this is our final view here in northern Norway. We are straight onto the town square almost, and yeah, we're in the middle of the city center of Kirkenes. My high school had like a kind of a program where some people from our school were able to apply and go here for about a week in the wintertime and teach. So we were actually teaching, I was teaching dance, hip-hop to some teenagers in the primary school here. Together with some other people from my school. And Bendik has a very different story. He was in the military, so he actually spent 1 year in this area. So it's not in Kirkenes, but it's kind of outside of Kirkenes. So we're gonna go and see some of the places that we both have been. Are you ready to hit the road?
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go. It's like the most, I think the most unromantic place ever. Kirkenes is a rough harbor, but it has its own charm to it.
Kirkenes is an industrial town, quite close to both the Russian and the Finnish border. The town itself is not known for being very interesting unless you have a lot of memories there, like Bendik and I did. But I would still recommend going here because there are some really cool things you can do in this area. Back in the day when I was here with my high school, we went dog sledding on a frozen lake, visited an ice hotel, and also participated in a wonderful festival that is called Barents Spektakel. But there would be no time for things like that this evening. So Bendik and I celebrated our final evening on tour and decided to go back to the hotel and fill the bathtub.
Me neither. I might end the video here now because this is the last stop on our journey, and tomorrow we actually go home. We go to like Bendik!